everybody, it's Adam again and welcome back to my garage. So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've got planned for 2023, the different projects and everything coming up. But also, before we get into that, I want to just thank everybody for coming along for the ride in 2022. Channel saw a lot of growth too, and it really inspired me to create more content to put out there. I'm already working on cars as a hobby anyways, so I figured why not share that with the rest of the world, the knowledge as I'm working on them, and not only help people learn, but I also learn a lot from people on the channel leaving comments. And we introduced all the cars in the stable to the channel: 2004 STI, the two BMWs, the 1995 BMW 318 Ti E36, and my 1983 BMW 320i E21, which has the turbo N42 in it, powered by E85. Took that on a nice road trip down to Louisville, Kentucky. So that was almost a 1,000-mile round trip with that, with some of my buddies. That was a great ride. Go check out the video back in May if you want to see what that was all about. Also, we introduced the 1999 LS6 powered Sonoma. So that's got a 2003 Corvette Z06 motor in it. Got that back on the road in the spring of 2022. But had the clutch pedal start softening up on it, and when I went to bleed the fluid, I managed to break the bleeder off at the slave cylinder in the transmission. So we're going to drop the transmission on that this year and fix that, get that back on the road for summertime this year as well. Also, can't forget about my 1987 JS550 Kawasaki stand-up Jetski. I've got some more content planned this year on that. And we also did some work on the GMC Yukon Denali hybrid, very technically advanced for being something that's now almost 12 years old. I really enjoy working on that and kind of learning along the way. So that was 2022. Now looking forward to 2023 on the 1983 BMW, my E21. I've got to get that more prepped for track. So you may have seen the track day video that we did on that back in 2018 at Grattan Raceway. One thing I didn't share in that video was if I drove the car really hard for maybe more than 20-25 minutes on the track, the brakes would soften up on it. So we got to do a brake fluid flush on that. And also I'm going to be upgrading to some E30 rear calipers on it, and also putting in some EBC yellow stuff, brake pads. And it's got the Volvo 4-pot calipers on the front of it already. I'm going to have to go ahead and upgrade the pads to the yellow stuff, brake pads up front as well on the E21. As far as the Jetski content goes, plan on putting on this high-performance Solus impeller. We'll get that. Hopefully that helps us hook up off the line a little bit better, especially with my 295,000-pound frame here. So that'll be great when we get that on, and we'll do a how-to video with that as well. Also, with content later in the year, I want to start mixing it up a little bit. Did a live stream at the end of 2022 in the E36, the so-called snowpocalypse in this area that really didn't manifest more than maybe 3 or 4 inches of snow. But it was great live streaming and interacting with you guys as we went through it. The chats coming in, talking to people, just kind of driving along. It was great. If you want to go ahead and check that out, I left that one up online back in December. But yeah, I'd like to live stream a bit more. Some of the ideas we got for that is do a live stream where you guys ask me questions about the cars via the chat, and I go to specific parts on the cars that I've modified, or other areas that may be stock, and talk about some of the things there, and do some Q&A down to the technical level on some of the cars. Also, there were some questions at the end of last year. Somebody's really interested in seeing how the parts washer works, which is basically a repurposed dishwasher. So we'll get into that, but also, getting through modifications and things like that on the Sonoma, a lot of mods on that. I'd also like to do some more video, really kind of tearing down some of the things that I've done on the truck to help people learn and really show people what works. That truck's had the LS6 motor in it since 2014. I also did the C5 Corvette brakes on it back then, put the Blazer rear end on it back then as well. If you have specific questions about any of the mods you've ever seen on the channel, go ahead and leave me a comment. Some other content we're thinking about this year. I'm really excited about this one. I want to sit down with people that have interesting auto stories, interesting stories about their car in their garage, or about their journey with the automotive world and in their hobby. Have a couple of beers with them and really share that with the rest of the world via this channel, because a lot of people have a lot of interesting car stories. I know a lot of people locally, not only relatives, but friends I've had for a while that just have really interesting stories. I think it'd be interesting for people to see and to listen to other people talk about their cars as well. We're going to call that Auto Stories, and it'll just be a segment that'll come along later in the year, but really excited to get into that as well. So 2 other things that I'd like to do before the end of the year. I really want to start digging into the E36 to have it ready next winter to start doing cutting and some sheet metal work on it as well. Basically what we want to do with that is make it all-wheel drive, planning to put an E46 all-wheel drive system in there, and also upgrading to a 6-cylinder, probably an M52, I'm thinking, motor in there, and eventually turbo that, kind of make it like a BMW version of a Subaru STI, if you will. So that'll be one really long-term project there. That's going to be quite a few episodes of that once we start digging into it. Really excited about that one. And then also I want to get into taking the Jetski up to some pretty remote areas around just the Midwest here in the U.S. Maybe even beyond that. You know, maybe in future years we'll go beyond that too. Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Upper Michigan area. And also have a pretty interesting idea planned for that, but we won't share that one quite yet, where we take the JS550. It'll be on an interesting journey. So again, thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning into the channel and subscribing. Really excited to see what 2023 holds, and really glad everyone has been along for the ride. Again, as always, if you have ideas, you want to see certain things, you know, me dig into certain things on the vehicles with the different mods that we've shown on the channel, that you've talked about, or I've talked about, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe too if this is your first time taking a look at the content. But we plan to unload a lot of new content here this year in 2023. Really looking forward to it. Really enjoy sharing my hobby with everyone here on this channel. So make 2023 a great year. Don't forget, when you think about something that you want to do with a car, it really is not that difficult if you just sit down and think about how you're going to do it and approach it systematically. And there's a lot of information available on the internet. Pretty much a lot of things that anyone has ever done is out there. All-wheel drive E36, not very common. So we're going to have to kind of make that one up as we go along. But I'm really excited to see what happens when we start digging into things there. So again, thanks for watching the channel. Make 2023 great. Have a great year, everybody.